Kalista and Varus not banned, so that's going to continue.
Yeah, saw them open the previous series, not going to happen again, but we have started to see the evolution of some priorities come out. Sejuani seeing bans a lot more has been pretty successful so far. Vi just getting taken off the cards, which, you know, Neferi was struggling into Vi a lot, but even with the high prio on the Vi ban, still not as much Neferi as, you know, started when it was, we thought it might be like super high prio, 100% to match what the LPL was doing towards the end. But
I think as well, like, Vi isn't necessarily like an instant win champion, but you just don't want to have to deal with Vi's existence while you're planning out your draft, because she can make things harder to pick. If you do have less carries, you know, she can really single out those single targets. So Rumble going to be banned away here. Kingan's Rumble has been epic this whole year.
Presumably got to be Gwen, you know.
True. No.
Jace, actually, this makes the Gwen pick even stronger.
Yeah, Keen, I imagine, was just asking the rest of his team, like, it's Gwen, right? And why? Like, what?
I guess maybe the theory was that if they left Jace open, then Keen could take
theory?
Keen could take Jace, and then you end up playing Gwen into Jace, which is obviously not ideal. Maybe that was a theory, and obviously Jax is still open, which Kingan can play into it, which is a decent matchup. We get the Nefari Ahri,
Nefarious duo.
A strong combo.
That's pretty good, actually.
Instantly responded to with the Xin Zhao and Azir, and I feel like we're just generally getting a lot of power picks coming out. I think if Kingan is looking to lock something into the Gwen, like the Jax potentially, you kind of need to grab it now.
It's probably not Rammus top lane.
Probably not.
I don't think that'd be
never
great.
Never say never.
Yeah.
But maybe say never this time.
Maybe the new the new iteration of Rammus, that's the magic resist stacking Rammus, is the way to go.
This is interesting to me, because with the Rumble and the Jace band, it was such a telegraph first pick Gwen. And the fact that they're leaving the top lane pick until second rotation makes me think that Kingan has something in pocket he's ready to bring out against this that he doesn't think will be banned. So yeah, I'm hoping for something spicy. They do now, though, pick up the Kai'Sa, which pairs well with the dive aspects of the composition. And now looking to ban away picks on the other side. They take away the Xayah first off, which obviously we've seen a lot into the Kai'Sa and is good against dive.
Yep, and Ruler was the king of the Xayah Kai'Sa meta, so denying that matchup is probably a good idea, given his experience. As the Alistar going to be banned away. Lahen's pretty good at that champion, and there's the Poppy that goes as well.
Yeah, 2 picks, you know, I guess stopping dive, disengaging. Definitely a lot of value with Xayah and Poppy there. We'll see, do they ban something like Khan or maybe the Nautilus? Or do they think they can suss out what King is going to play top? I feel like a Jax ban would be solid.
Yeah, that doesn't sound too bad.
In this situation.
I really hope, yeah, there it is. So I really hope that Kingan has a plan, like a really good idea.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, they're saving it till last pick. I do feel like at this point, I mean, there's still like Ambessa open and available. You could just slam something very standard, but I'm expecting something more. If you're saving it all the way to last pick, I'm thinking maybe there's something a little bit spicier, but we'll see. Now it's up to Gen.G to pick up their bot lane in response. Looking for some lane pressure potentially. I mean, Braum Ashe would just be...
That sounds pretty good.
Pretty good here.
They don't have a lot of engage, but they probably wouldn't need that much. And with Ashe, that gives them the opportunity to just throw an arrow.
Yeah.
Instead, Ezreal would be...
Also works.
Yeah, pretty standard option.
I think as well with how Gen.G's composition functions, and more so how NONGSHIM's composition functions, NONGSHIM are going to need to dive in, you know?
Yeah.
And so I think you can just pick champions where you stand back and say, come at me. Toying with the idea for the MF. MF not having the most fantastic setup here. I'm not really feeling it. I think if you want lane pressure, you could have just gone like an Ashe instead, and then would have synced better maybe with the comp. But they go for the MF. Does have that lane pressure over the Kai'Sa early, and the Braum is a pretty good matchup.
Oh, it's Diana. I forgot about this. Obviously, it's Diana top into the Gwen.
Yes. Well, this is kind of what I was talking about. Something a little bit spicier that they didn't expect to be banned. So clearly, Kingan has been prepping this into the Gwen.
I don't know about Diana top lane. It's unless it has happened. Maybe like someone on Spenu Sonic Boom a million years ago played Diana top just for fun.
2,000 days ago or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it probably actually has happened. There's so many things that played in so many different roles. Man, that is a throwback skin as well. Very interested to see how this one's going to go. Let's dive onto the rift for Gen.G versus NONGSHIM.
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다. 내 미니언 생성까지.
All right, NONGSHIM fans in full voice here today, as I do like the Skinergy that's going on here. The Ari and Kai'Sa skins are very well synced up.
Yep, that's good.
It's definitely a good thing.
Yeah, so, you know what? This might surprise you,
Uh-huh.
Max. I haven't seen too many of the Diana-Gwen matchup
Really?
in the top lane.
Well, maybe we should report that to G-Sun, and she can have a word with you.
미니언들이
About that?
생성되었습니다.
Am I bad, guys?
As Kingin just going to be checking around here. It's probably the Pale Cascade Max, right, in lane? The orbs? I think that's still what it's called. Is it still called? I don't even know.
You're the expert on ability names. You're the person I'm relying on for that.
Yeah, I think it's the ultimate's Moonfall. And it's a crescent something.
It is definitely a crescent something.
Yeah.
I can agree with that.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if it's called that, but it definitely...
This is the other champion that used to have a crescent ability. It was called Crescent Sweep. Now it's Crescent Guard. Crescent Slash was an Akali ability.
Yeah, because they changed it, because it used to be her ult was the dash, and her E was all in.
Yep. And Moonfall was, yeah, the E. But now that does damage. It used to not do damage. It used to just move you around a little bit. It's kind of funny. As Fisher is actually playing hyper-aggressive into Chovy. Damn, Chovy really standing his ground there.
Yeah, the electrocute value. I mean, that's the thing. If you can get the trade out, proc electrocute, and then disengage, you end up winning out over the especially level 1. You know, not notoriously is his strong point.
Yeah.
Unless you're able to get those soldiers in the right spot.
Well, Fisher is now going to go in for it once again. Orbit Deception goes entirely wide, though, and that is going to allow Chovy to stay in the lane.
Yep, and get a grass proc as well, so going a bit back and forth, but I'm loving the aggression coming out from Fisher, looking to challenge Chovy.
Well, Foxfire continuing to do so. There's the electrocute. Very nicely done.
Keep playing around that cooldown. It feels like he's potentially fishing for like a charm flash angle. But I think just waiting for the electrocute cooldown and trading around that is the correct response, correct way to play it.
Having a look here. I did want to have a look at Diana and just try and catch some of the top lane stats. But it looks like the rest of the world hasn't caught up to Kingin yet. As far as, you know, what he's getting up to up there. But it is going to be the Conqueror version. Seen mainly, you know, Conqueror picked up just in general. And so we'll just have to see how he's going to go. So far, it's not so good.
Kind of reminds me a bit of like the sort of Akali back when Gwen was really strong.
Yeah.
Akali was picked into Gwen, likely for similar reasons of how you would play the matchup. So I think at 6 maybe is where you'll look to...
Well, he got solo killed. So, sorry about the lack of fanfare, everyone, but they were just kind of walking, and then Keen continued walking, and Kingin died.
As I said earlier, I haven't seen this matchup too much. Maybe this is how it's supposed to go. Maybe Kingin was factoring in he would die at level 4, but I'm going to hedge a bet that he probably wasn't. That generally doesn't seem too positive. I mean, my understanding of League of Legends as a whole suggests that maybe you don't want to get solo killed in a counter matchup at level 4.
I think you're making assumptions. I think you are making assumptions, and we need to give him benefit of the doubt. Let's have a look at this one more time.
Yeah, so Kingin kind of pushes for the level 4, and he's a bit more focused on the minions, and then maybe you should have just flashed that Q. Which, I mean, wouldn't it feel good to burn your flash? But it feels worse to die.
Yeah. Well, we'll just see how it continues to improve or not so much. As right now, we do have the lanes already swapped. Kingin going to be moving down towards that bottom side. You can see Keen just went for a reset and actually just walked on down there. So a bit of a tempo advantage here for Gen.G.
I've got to ask, Max, you said you looked at Kingin's recent solo queue games and he played a Diana game recently. Did he win?
No. Not in the recent one. He's played 6 games of it over the last week on his main account, and he won 4 of them.
Okay.
And a lot of those wins had a lot of deaths.
So maybe this is the strategy. Maybe you're supposed to die at level 4. We don't know.
Yeah, we've learned from other, you know, professional top laners that dying can be a good thing.
And some supports. One support specifically.
See? And he may not be playing Elise top, but maybe that's how Diana works. I mean, Diana used to be a jungler.
Yeah, I will say 20 CS down on top of the kill deficit. That again, I'm not an expert in the matchup, but that doesn't seem positive to me.
Yeah, and right now he's like, obviously we're not going to get a lot of great information because he already died at level 4. And so that is going to skew things pretty heavily in Keen's favor. As you can see, it's already a 720 gold lead, which, you know, if I remember correctly, spins you around twice.
Yeah, maybe that's the critical point. Maybe he's like, okay, if I just survive the level 4, it's in the bag. That's like the critical point of the matchup. But unfortunately, he didn't survive the level 4.
Well, Keen is looking at level 6 right now, as Lehens is going to land the anchor on the wall, and gets himself out.
King and appreciating some alone time to maybe catch up.
I could imagine that that would be the case. As Fisher is now thinking of shadowing the Gwen, but not going to be able to do too much to him, as Ju taking a bit of damage from Ruler, who greets him underneath that turret.
Well, so bot lane, we kind of, to no surprise, losing matchup.
All right, it did actually win. The last, I knew there was going to be something, and it was Flame that played it. There we go.
4,277 days.
That is many years. I'm not going to do the quick math, but I think it's close to 12. I said I wasn't going to do the math, and it's probably closer to something else. It's 2013, so it is 12. I didn't actually see the date at the bottom there.
That is an easier way to figure it out.
The good old Season 3 Flame playing Diana top lane, which is probably close to when she was released, where you could basically play her anywhere and she would win.
Yep.
For the first 3 days until she was hopping.
That reminds me of Echo release when,
when
people were playing Echo support, and his ult, you know, like when you dash back and you deal damage, it had a 3 AP ratio. Like, people would just play Echo support and then just E onto you and just like one-shot you, and it was just like, okay.
Yep.
People didn't care where you played, it was just broken. Some champions on release were a little bit goofy.
Yep. I think Zyra and Diana were my 2 favorites. Yeah. Vladimir was also completely busted.
Fortunately, for those people who don't know what we're talking about, this is old League of Legends. Obviously, modern new champions are always really balanced.
Incredibly balanced.
Yeah, so you don't have to worry about that. I don't think we've really ever... I can't remember the last time we've had a champion that was new and I've gone, wow, that champion seems very broken and super powerful. But maybe someday it'll happen again.
And they never have the same mobility that the old champions had either, you know? I just feel like they never come out with like any sort of dashing ability or anything like that, ways to reposition comfortably.
And I'm sure if a champion did come out, you know, maybe who was like really strong and really mobile, that he'd be nerfed out of the meta instantly, and we wouldn't have like a year of them playing the champion, a year plus in pro.
Ooh, that's a nice little hook coming out from Lehens, as Dora just gives him the door.
Yeah, unfortunately it is Braum, so...
This is all going not so well for NONGSHIM. Okay, there's a bullet time. Geo is almost just straight up dead as he flashes, but Ruler still just hits him with a Q.
Yep, can't flash an auto attack.
Oh dear. I mean, it's basically an auto attack, as there is a nice Winter Spike connecting onto Lehens as well. And now Ruler is looking to line it up, but Lehens thinks he's found the angle, and Ruler will go down, but not before he grabs a double.
That was personal to Lehens, but I think Ruler's still pretty happy with the trade. 2 kills for him. Substantial gold lead in the bot lane. Mid lane, I mean, Fish has been doing fine.
There you go.
And top lane, still waiting for when this matchup picks up.
Well, the Rod of Ages is on the way, so any experience lead after 10 stacks will be somewhat alleviated.
True.
So there you
Plus,
go.
maybe, I mean, I don't think there's anything in Diana's kit along these lines, but you know, there's champions like Kayle and Caston who spike at 16, so maybe that's young. Yeah. He had to walk forwards to get out of it. I think maybe just flashing out of it would have been the correct call, but hindsight to say. And ultimately, Jiwoo goes down. Had Ghost, by the way, instead of Barrier, so no defensive tool to mitigate that damage.
Yeah, it did look a little bit unfortunate there for Jiwoo.
Double Rod of Ages from NONGSHIM, so...
We're playing for the late game.
We're playing for the Roe capitalization.
And they're going to need to utilize it, as right now Gen.G have taken kind of everything all over the map. You can see 3 grubs already done. They're looking for the first dragon of the game here as well, as Canyon is just chilling on that one. Gideon hasn't really been seen so far.
Yeah, you know what's kind of doomed when like Keen doesn't have TP, but NONGSHIM still can't contest what could be a 4v5. Not really going to happen.
Yeah. Still, there's a lot of questions, and I just don't know whether we'll get the answers. This is the thing that I'm worried about. As a teleport in, we're looking for some grubs. And Kingin, he is another jungler. Doesn't have smite, but Gideon going to be over there as well.
Is this where Diana top shines?
There we go, being a jungler.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I do know more about Diana jungle than Diana top lane, so...
Yeah. I personally thought the mid lane Diana was fantastic. There was a Southeast Asian player, his name was G4, and he was brilliant at the Diana, I remember, many years ago. As Gideon going to hop over the wall, but Duro is still going to just throw some Winter's Bite at him. What is it that Braum shoots out?
I mean, in the base skin, it's like the frosty blast, right? With the ram horns.
What is a frosty blast? Is it a spiritual ram? Is it just a mini Ornn?
You know, like an aircon is going really strong, and you walk in front of it, it's like really cool.
Yeah.
That, but amplified.
Whoa! So he just like breathes really heavily.
Well, kinda, but he's
in your direction.
Maybe he just shoves the cold air towards you.
Huh? Pushes it with the door.
Oh, maybe this is it.
Trade? I mean, I can see that Keen's health bar is lower than Kingin's health bar right now.
Okay, well, not finding the all-in window there. This could be a Diana top lane loss. Could be. Early days, but it's not looking super positive right now.
And also, it seems like farming under turret's really hard because your passive just ruins the minions.
You kind of have to get to the point where you can just one-shot like a clump, but Roa not exactly giving you access to that early AP.
Yeah. Well, I'm still open-minded because it's only about a 3,000 gold lead as Keen's immune, but he's basically immune without the Shroud. As Jiu going for the more AD-focused version of the Kai'Sa does make some sense with the current composition.
Yeah, I think it's kind of just been the go-to now.
Doggos.
But it definitely makes sense with this comp, with double AP solo laners. And jungler's dead even in gold. It always just catches my eye when I see that, you know?
Oh, no. 1 gold ahead for Canyon. Come on, Gideon. You need 1 gold back.
Is there anything that's going to give you 1 gold?
That charm hitting is...
It doesn't give you
1 gold. But Chovy getting a plate also not 1 gold.
Wait, Canyon had a 1 gold bounty for a second.
He's got a 3 gold bounty now. There's a 1 gold bounty. Gideon, that's so cool. All right, Keen's going to do it once again as Keen's in trouble. Does get the Moonfall, pulls Keen in. But yeah, otherwise just going to be disengaged this time. Went way better for Kingen. Not as good for his turret. Still, went a whole lot better. And I guess this is the point where you say, did it though?
Yeah, I'm just thinking maybe our interpretation of counter matchups needs to be shifted a little bit, because my understanding of counter matchups is, at least at some point in the game, you want to be favored.
Got it. In the team fights, you have more AoE CC. As Gideon has more being dead. As Canyon is going to dive on top of him. Gideon now actually throwing down a fair bit of damage. Yeah, has the doggos, and now Kingen with no ulti, but he's pretty sticky on this Diana. There's a dash forward, and he does have the ult, but I think Canyon still did. Never mind, they get over the wall, and Duro just stands beside him. Oh, what the heck was that?
That looked like they finally got something going. Maybe a kill for Kingen, gonna turn this game around, and they managed to dip out and get away. Canyon getting a pretty big heal there off the Sundered Sky.
That was highway robbery.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Oh man.
Ruler has taken this today's matchup relatively seriously.
Yeah. You know, maybe
personally,
Coach Kim might have been all giggles, but
yeah.
Certainly not.
No. And Duro as well being a great cheerleader, as we saw in the last clip, as he's diving forward, protecting his minions. Stand beside Braum exactly as... Oh, God, yeah, that double up actually doing a lot of work. Still tanks the turret as Lahens gets the old flash. In comes Jiu. Can Ruler survive? That's the question, as Duro's going down as well. And Gideon just grabs a double out of nowhere.
Oh, Lahens again, this old flash mechanic. He's shown it before. So well played. Duro's like, I'm the target. I need a flash out. But his cooldown's unavailable. Leaves Ruler isolated, who also gets knocked up. Just really well played from the Hens, finding the angle, and a little bit disrespectful for the Gen.G bot lane.
I would agree. And now they can actually transition it into this Cloud Drake as well.
That's how you Coach Kim would not be laughing after that play.
Not anymore. And they've pulled back the gold advantage as well. You can see Gideon now with a lead himself. Lehen's grabbing himself a bit of an advantage. It is a Hextech Soul, so that means that the next few dragons going to be even more pivotal.
Yeah,
Great hook connecting first.
I thought maybe he'd want to ultimate a tower, but instead ults here, Duro flashes, and the redirection with the ult flash catches out the MF. And then the follow-up's there. And this is what this composition does. They have that dive potential.
Well, Lehen's once again in a little bit of trouble. Doesn't have his flash, remember, but also Duro and Canyon don't have a lot of damage, so...
Yeah, Lehen's kind of turned around there and looked like he was going to set up something up, but I think they were like, let's not risk it.
Yeah.
We are right next to that tower. How much throwing can we actually do and still win?
Well, Keen is going to take another turret, and that will just go down. No real response available, as Kingin's jungling. Which was what we said was potential strength.
Yeah, King and Droa isn't stacked yet, so I wouldn't have thought...
Oh, wait, no, Keen's jungling. I take it all back. Yeah, and now he's pushing on an inner turret, as the outer and mid lane is going down. Ju really can't really afford to be here, as that turret is not long for the world, and in goes Chovy. Doesn't quite make the distance there with the Conquering Sands, but that is absolutely fine.
So much pressure now, especially against like an Azir and an MF who are both quite strong. Chovy managing to just make a 20 CS lead appear as he is to do. You know, he just has that ability.
Yep.
And now, just this threat that they have, this pressure from the Liandry's complete already on Chovy, from Ruler who has a Bloodthirst, that can just push you out of the mid lane, especially as a Kai'Sa. We're already so far in the red for NONGSHIM in terms of gold. And it doesn't look to be getting better anytime soon.
Well, they are going to try to grab Keen here, who just immunes everything. Mainly by dodging it, as it turns out. Duro in position to try and defend, and Lehen's going to wander forward. It's going to give them all the information that they need, but also shows NONGSHIM that they're not going to be able to dive the Gwen. And Chovy is then able to step up in this top side. Canyon shadowing as well, just to make sure that his mid lane is going to be safe. And Gen.G just leaving no holes for NONGSHIM to fight back.
Yep, it has been pretty brutal so far. And, you know, sometimes you have games from Gen.G where they do blow it out, but I feel like the slow twist of the knife is really the one where it feels most hopeless for the enemy side.
Yeah.
But at least, I will say they have a lot of engage tools, so hopefully they just find a window to throw everything in the kitchen sink at Gen.G. Probably lose the game off that, but at least they tried.
Yeah. I just want to see Kingen find a multi-man ultimate. You know, you can layer in a whole lot of knockups with the depth charge. There is wombo combo potential, and they do have damage.
I kind of want to see the Diana do something other than die level 4.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of hype, you know? It's... Okay, comparison. Has it been more or less deflating than the Yorick pick?
Well, the Yorick pick still had a really cute dark procession.
Yeah.
He does have that, and that was very cute. As Fisher is in a bit of trouble.
Yeah.
As in goes Shelly at the same time. Gideon wanting to try and defend, but I don't think it's going to happen. And Fisher's not going to die, but the inner turret will. And there is only 2 more of them left.
The angle. Oh,
okay.
This could go horribly wrong.
It could. Q going to connect, but I don't know whether Kingen is going to have too much of an opportunity.
Jiwoo had already left. He was like, no, the turret's up, I'm gone.
He lost all faith.
Yeah. No faith in the top lane Diana? Jiwoo, come on.
Well, he only has 5 stacks on his Rod of Ages.
Oh, if they had 10 stacks at that point, 100% they're all in.
Yeah, we need to hit the power spike. As 1 minute until the Drake is likely going to be the next point of contention.
Yeah, and speaking of power spikes, did you see Infinity Edge for Ruler? And Keen got the Nash's Tooth. And we have the Rift Maker for Chovy.
Keen and Ruler both have 2.2 thousand gold advantages, or plus.
Oh, but Lehen's is 22 gold up, 21 gold. 8. Never mind.
Yeah.
If I said anything, it's all over for him.
Oh dear. I'm glad that we did have a small moment where we could have potentially thought about saying something positive for the gold on NONGSHIM. That was great. Just Lehen's going to find his way in once again. Gideon diving on top of Chovy. Arakan getting involved as well as they use this as a leash angle. The rest of NONGSHIM are all already here. And Canyon's on the other side of the map, yeah. It was completely caught out. So now Gen.G, are they going to try and do the 4v5? That's the question. They're now looking for an angle as Keen dives in. And Kingen, not sure about that. Did get the ult off, but it didn't really do anything at all as Canyon's turned up. They've got 5 members now as Jiu splits to the other side, tries to hex gate out, and it was very, very sad. Chovy going to go back to the Otacon, picks that one up, and it was a worthy try, NONGSHIM. And unfortunately, it did not work in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to speed up the game, that is one way to do it. Unfortunately, not in a favorable direction. She kind of just leashed Otacon, and they're going to pick up this dragon as well.
Yeah.
So, you know, the force on Chovy is okay, but then King dives in here and just gets basically one shot, and then although Canyon was a while away, like Canyon shows up. I don't think they needed Canyon to win this, but he does ensure they get a couple more kills on the back end.
Yeah, and I didn't even see the Moonfall do anything at all. It was a very weird
You know how you said
situation.
old Diana, like she had on an E and it did no damage?
Yeah.
Are we sure it does damage? No.
He's gone back in time.
Yeah, because that did not look like it did anything.
It did not. And that is going to mean that the gold advantages that we were talking about before have moved to 3,000, and they also have all of the Otacon advantages. They now grab themselves a Hextech Drake, and that is going to be amplified by good old Ruinous Otacon as well. And so Gen.G have all of a sudden got even more powerful, and they didn't even need to get more powerful because they already had like an 8,000 gold lead.
I don't know, can you spot any champions on Gen.G's team that would benefit from both attack speed and ability haste?
Huh. Yes.
You know, pretty good for them, I would say, overall.
They have at least the 2 best AP champions that can stack both of those.
Yeah.
That's very impressive.
It's nice that you even have the Braum, who's like vibe
true.
and attack speed. Like you really hit all the bases. This is such a great Hextech Ruinous game.
Too bad Gen.G may not get any more dragons because they may get a Nexus.
They may get it, but Kingen, 2 stacks away from the rower and has a Rift Maker now.
True, skipped his shoes.
Maybe he was supposed to lose that last fight. Maybe this is how it's supposed to go for Dan. He did say he had a lot of, he did say he had a lot of deaths in his recent games.
What was it, 474 for one of them? I can just go back and have a little bit more of a gander.
Assess the situation. Oh,
as Keen has found Gideon.
Yep. Oh, TP coming in.
Oh, Voidseeker is going to land as Jiu's going to turn up. Okay, Gideon goes untargetable, so he's out of this fight. But Fisher, he's the one that needs to try and catch him. And there is a gorgeous charm. Keen is just going to smell the roses for a moment as a golden Gwen, but almost manages to pick up the kill at the same time. Still, Gen.G going to be pushing on that top side. Teleport in from Chovy just to guard this mid-outer turret. And in the meantime, an inhibitor turret's going down.
Yeah, they can't defend this.
Yeah, it's just gone. Perplexing. I would say that the trade does favor Gen.G, but getting a kill helps morale.
Yeah. Well,
that's all I got.
I can't argue with it. Yeah. That is pretty much what that offered. I mean, they... Oh, and this tower's gone as well. Well...
The gold is not an advantage. However, NONGSHIM
they got a red buff?
Steal a red buff, exactly.
Oh, but Baron's not up yet, so it's only for Gideon.
Oh,
maybe
NONGSHIM made sure that Baron wasn't even available yet?
Yeah.
When they left the top side of the map open?
But the thing I will say is that it's only 1 red buff because I don't think anyone's gonna be able to head down there and pick that one up.
The last Diana win was actually 474. I did actually remember the right score.
Well, he needs 5 more deaths. And then the comeback can happen.
Yeah.
I think that's the lesson here.
There needs to be 8 other kills for NONGSHIM, though. And so we'll see how we do picking up those. As Lahens, he's going to get picked up by Canyon here. And Chovy will be able to deliver the death blow. Never mind, it's actually Canyon that collects that one. Kingen is going to take that as his invitation to go home.
Yes, this is the brush hiding part of the Diana top lane gameplay. Obviously,
thanks for that, Orcs.
Now as an expert on top lane Diana, that's something she likes to do often, is stand in the brush and then recall after not doing anything. It's just, you wouldn't get it if you're not a Diana top lane player.
Well, I'm not, so I don't get it. We are going to get some bounty gold, though, so that's going to pull the gold lead back to 10,000.
Oh, it's just under 10,000 actually.
Oh, so never mind.
They are keeping it
basically even. They have the same number at the start of their gold.
With a little bit of debt forgiveness, NONGSHIM are basically completely even.
Oh dear.
At what point do they just declare bankruptcy and then they can just wipe it all away?
Pretty soon is what I'd say. Kingen is going to be able to pick up the wave on the top side of the map, though. Does at least have his shoes now completed. As Ruler moving
The
back
10 stacks have been hit. This is prime time.
Wait. Is Fisher going to be able to find the angle? That's the question. Never mind. Lehens has already been caught out. Does buy a bit of time with the ulti, but it's not quite enough. That's a brilliant ult coming out from Duro as well as Kingen. He finds an ult under 3. And most of the damage is unable to follow up. G one shot away from being stunned. It's Fisher trying to be helpful, and that Hex Gate actually gets him out.
Does save his life. The hands up at 20. Kingen in 30. Doesn't look like they're going to go for the end now. They are just going to go for the dragon.
Oh, wait. Is it going to be a potential angle?
Can't take that Hex Gate. Execute.
Yep, there it is. So he is going to be able to secure the execute. That does mean, though, that it's very... Okay, never mind. Gideon going to be able to pop over the wall. Nice jump just to play some defense. But as it's all happening, Ruler is taking a dragon.
Gideon Fisher still haven't died. There is something... I'm going to pre-warn you, Max.
Please.
It's very unfortunate what happens. We're going to see the replay in a second.
Oh, dear.
I didn't want to draw attention to it, but just... I can't help it. Just watch the Ahri charm. Just focus on the Ahri.
Oh, no. Was there a minion that was quite... Oh, wow. Whoa.
A little bit unfortunate. I just don't think he expected Ruler to stand still and start channeling ultimate.
Yeah.
A little bit, you know, sometimes to not dodge is the greatest dodge. But,
read him like a book. Read him like a book. That was, you know...
The pages all stuck together. You just couldn't get it open, you know?
Yeah. That was the sad one. As Gen.G, they're going to look to start off the Baron. It's been up for 2 minutes time, and that is 2 minutes too long for Gen.G. So they will be able to punish this one, take it out. I don't know whether NONGSHIM are going to have too many opportunities to get in here. You can see he has a monopoly on the vision. Oh, yeah, Kingen has the ultimate back up again. As Chovy is just going to hold the ult. Not going to get baited there as Gideon goes untargetable, but it doesn't really matter. And now they take the Baron and they take the lives of the NONGSHIM members. Oh, that is a...
It does not do damage.
It does not. It did not do very much of anything at all, as Lehen's going to be the next target here. Chovy just following him. Gio trying to do some tricky stuff to try and get out with the Killer Instinct, but unfortunately it doesn't quite work as Duro trying to stay alive. It's going to be Fisher grabbing another kill as Chovy and Fisher now fighting. Chovy not with the mobility that Fisher has, and Ruler is done with this game and wants to just kind of end it. As Chovy is just going to send the Sand Soldiers forward, takes down the Ahri, and Lehens gives him a good old thumbs up and stops the back. And will also help Chovy get some more kills this game, and there it is.
Yeah, Chovy takes out his former teammate in Cold Blood. And I feel like Cold Blood is kind of accurate for how NONGSHIM are feeling right now. This game is very over, and it has been for a while.
It was. The Nexus goes down. It was an interesting experiment with the Diana top. I think that a few extra things went wrong. And I don't know whether I learned too much. I'm really hoping that Wolf and Wadid on the space are going to be able to come up with a good theory as to why it was picked in the first place. And obviously,